This card is also from Chaos Origin, and it's the new Overframe. I don't know. Can someone remind me, is it going to be one Overframe per set now in the core sets, or is it going to be more than one? Is this the Overframe from Chaos Origin, or is there multiple? It has the BLS too. Oh yeah, you're right. It has multiple, 4. Yeah. There was the Blackluster Soldier. Then there was the counterpart of the Blackluster Soldier, which the Dark Magician of Chaos thingy, and I think there was one more. But okay, yeah, this is one. Farah, the Goddess of the Beginning, level 8 Dark Spellcaster effect monster, 2800 attack, 2800 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect once per turn each. You can reveal this card and one spell trap in your hand. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to the activation of a card with the same name as the revealed spell traps or its effects until the end of the next turn. Okay. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the grave by a spell trap effect, you can special summon this card. If this card is specialed from the grave, you can take control of the one monster your opponent controls with the highest attack, your choice if tied. Okay. I feel like the obvious point to start discussing this card is fusions, right? I feel like this card is designed for fusion decks, with fusion decks in mind, because fusion decks historically are decks that have the most value from resolving their spells, but also have a great way to make use of the other effects of this card, because you can use this card as fusion material, and that would be one way to send it to the grave by a spell trap effect. So you can make any spell traps unrespondable. So fusion spells, board breakers, like, I mean, reveal Feather Duster against Draco Tail, can't flame it. Reveal Evenly Matched, but I mean, revealing Evenly Matched is cope, because they're just gonna do things like they're gonna know you have evenly matched, and then they're gonna do all their things when you go to battle phase. That's kind of cope. Reveal Engage. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, because is it good enough? Is it good enough in decks like that to just force through one of your cards, basically, and then have like this card chill in your hand for the rest of the game? If you're playing Sky Striker, for example, right? It's interesting, but this card basically inherently is weird because it's not a starter itself. You basically have to have a good hand already, and then you can make sure that one of your pushes resolves. And I think that, for the most part, is not good enough unless you can also make use of the other effects of this card, right? If you can use this card in some way, shape, or form in your deck as like a fusion material, or as another way, like if, I don't know, let's use Branded as an example here. In Branded, I feel like this card is interesting, not only because, oh, you're protecting your Branded fusion from Ash Blossom, which, yes, it does, but it's also like the second effect and third effect of this card are not bad in Branded either, because you can discard it for Branded in High Spirits. It's a spellcaster, and so you're gonna send it to grave for High Spirits, and then you can bring it back from the grave and take their monster, which is not bad. Branded Opening as well can, do that. It is a dark spellcaster as well, so it makes Dark Magician of Destruction, which you could also do in Branded, theoretically, if you have the extra deck space. I don't know. So there's some potential here, but basically so far, from what I'm gathering also from the chat messages, I feel like most people are focusing on this, right? People are focusing on, oh, what's the most broken card that I can make unrespondable, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna activate this crazy board breaker or this crazy spell, and you can't do anything about it. And it's like, yeah, sure, but for the most part, you're not always going to draw this card paired with another card that you really want to resolve. And even if you do, even if you do draw it together with Branded Fusion, you're protecting your Branded Fusion from Ash and Impulse, but statistically speaking, you're spending a card in your hand for a card that your opponent doesn't even have all the time. And even if they do have Ash or Impulse, they can just Ash or Impulse you somewhere else, right? So it's okay, but you do need, I think you need to get more value from it than just protecting one spell in your deck with, you know? I think you would want to be playing this card in a deck that can make good use of the other two effects, and even then I'm not sure if it's good enough, all things considered. But it's interesting. I like it because it's interesting. It's clearly a go second card. It does have some pretty cool implications. Like let's say you find a way to put this card into your deck. And like, yeah, going first, it's okay, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're playing Branded Draco Tail and you put this card into your deck because you think it's important to protect cards like Rahu or Ketu or Branded Fusion. Like, sure. If this card is in your deck, you could be siding some board breakers, and then there's a chance that you just draw this card plus Illusion Gate or something, which I played Illusion Gate at Regionals yesterday, and the card felt really powerful to me. But of course, in some matchups, you're worried about the Illusion Gate getting negated. And if you draw this with Illusion Gate, all of a sudden, that's gonna go hard. But yeah. This is also an interesting side deck card itself. In a board breaker heavy deck, yeah, I could see it. In a deck that is mainly playing board breakers in the main deck already, is like the thing is, like, you're gonna have side deck space is really tight, of course. So yeah, I don't know if you're gonna, like, because you're gonna want to side some cards for going first these days because you have to take out the Charmies, and then you want to side cards for different matchups, and I don't know if you can prioritize siding this card. This card with Droplet goes crazy. That is maybe the best showcase for the Yu-Gi-Oh community's problem with reading and understanding cards, because that is wrong on so many levels that it's almost impressive. Because Droplet is already basically unresponsible or unrespondable. So revealing it doesn't matter for that part. And also, if you sent this card for a Droplet, you don't even get its second and third effect. So that's an awesome sentence. It's probably the worst card in the world to pair this card with is Forbidden Droplet, which is awesome. Reveal Big Welcome Labyrinth. Yeah, that's an example of a use that this card is also never gonna have. You're never gonna play it in decks like Labyrinth to make sure your Big Welcome Labyrinth resolves. You're not gonna do that because, like, you're just not willing to play one card down just to make sure that your Big Welcome resolves. Like, just set Solemn Strike, bro. Like, it's not that deep. I think this card very obviously goes into fusion decks because fusion decks historically have the most powerful spells, but also fusion decks just happen to be the decks that are often played with board breakers, right? So that's where this card has a home, because fusion decks have powerful spells, fusion decks typically have board breakers, and fusion decks also have a very convenient way to get this card in the graveyard and trigger its other effects. So this is where this card goes, in my opinion. Thank you. Siri Aslan for the 8 months. Searchable by the new Sword Soul Synchro, pairs well with High Spirits. I think it's solid. I think it's solid for branded, yeah. I could see it. And it's a dope overframe. I like it. I think it's a cool overframe. Fitting. What about ritual decks? Technically the same thing that I just said applies to ritual decks, but for some reason I feel like ritual decks, there's not as many as fusion decks. And also, I mean, Mitsurugi being the most popular one, for Mitsurugi it's a lot harder to get the second and third effect of this card because Mitsurugi is limited into what it can tribute for its ritual monsters, right? Like, you can't tribute this card for Mitsurugi Ritual because you need to tribute reptiles. So you luckily can't use it in Mitsurugi. Should have been a reptile. Then it would have been crazy in Mitsurugi, yeah. But yeah, in theory, all the things that I said about fusion are also true for ritual. Like, yeah, if you can reveal this and then force a ritual spell through and then tribute this for that ritual spell, that's technically good. There's just no practical example of this right now, of a deck that could do this. Whereas for fusions, there's multiple, right? For fusion, there's Draco Tail, there's Branded, like those decks could actually play. Maybe even Illusion, like Chimera could play this card, maybe. Like there's examples of decks that could use this card, right? I'm not sure if it's going to end up being optimal, but there's decks that could. Azamina has no way to send this card to the graveyard, right? I mean, you can tribute it for Deception, but it won't trigger because it's cost. It's clearly for the new Black Luster Soldier ritual deck in Chaos Origin. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's gonna be good in that deck. But I don't have enough experience or knowledge about that deck to say that right now. But maybe, yeah.